Is that how you want to present yourself? Wife beater? Chain?
I just got back from the gym.
So, and you canceled yesterday for being sick, and then today you go boxing. Do
Dude,
you think that's a
yesterday,
crack? Do you think that's
yesterday,
crack founder mindset?
yesterday I was actually
Just
sick though.
today, I'm gonna pitch you 4 updates that you need to build. Okay?
That I need to
As
do.
as the 28-year-old unpaid intern at ChatAPT, I am suggesting some updates so that I can get promoted. I can go from unpaid to maybe semi-paid, hourly, monthly. Okay.
I have big updates coming. Don't worry.
All right.
Tomorrow
Well,
even. Maybe today for
let
that.
me. This is the first feature I'm suggesting, where
Hell no.
instead of giving results as a list or grid, you give it like Tinder like format.
You do this
So if you like,
available?
so yeah, so if you like it, you love. If you don't like it, you dismiss. If you want to save something or if you want to visit something, you click and then it opens the listing. So
So
the user will still,
this is after the AI.
yeah.
Well, my first time when I saw this, have you heard of apartments list?
No.
Apartments list is an a real estate platform, kind of like Zillow, and they essentially have this type of experience where you like right swap, left swap, based on what you like. I don't know if this will work. If we think of the AI, the point of the AI is to give you a bunch of listings based on what it thinks that you want. So like this is for example, so the user wants an apartment, 2 bedroom near downtown, gym and parking, right? So
Hmm.
all these apartments are already near downtown and parking.
Yeah.
So then should it ideally all of it be interesting to you?
Ideally, but it does the average chat apt user love every listing that they see?
No, okay, so then you have to go deeper, right, into the apartment to see if it's not interesting. So yeah, I guess you have to open up a new tab and then see.
More.
You need more details to kind of like see if it's yes or no, right? Like just
uh yeah.
one view, I guess we're not giving much more information because we know that all these all these apartments have that characteristic: 2 bedroom in downtown and gym and parking. So
Okay.
you need other differentiators. I mean, the UI is cool, but I don't know about if it has any more value. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
But
Cool.
it's cool though.
So
It's a cool UI.
all right. Cool. Moving on to the next one. Same swipe feature, but now instead, well, I didn't know about apartment list before this, but now
It's even the same
instead of
UI, kind of.
blame lovable, but instead of typing using LLM, you swipe on the features that you want. So, do you want a modern kitchen island top? No.
I don't
Do you
see
want a
anything.
spa like bathroom?
I don't see what you're doing.
Oh, what? Oh. Whoop. This is the new app, okay? So, it'll suggest you a bunch of features. You swipe left, left to see whatever you want. And then based on that, it suggests you a bunch of apartments. After you have given your prompt.
That's
One
cool
story
too.
point. One story point.
It's a cool feature. My first thought is the biggest thing that ChatGPT is supposed to solve is that it's supposed to help you spend as little time as possible looking for apartments,
Right.
and that yeah, it's a cooler way to look for apartment, but you're still spending a lot of time swiping, and it's much faster to just say what you want, you know.
Okay. Okay. Third feature. I want to
Ooh, fire
replace
the intern. No, I'm kidding.
I want to replace analysis match with a the ex tenant talking about the experience in this place. Okay? So when you click on the place, you click on generate X tenant story, and instead of doing analysis match, it will generate a story about how the previous tenant lived. So, for example, this one says, I stopped making coffee at home because the Starbucks downstairs was just so convenient. Probably spent way too much money there. The water pressure is surprisingly decent for an old building, which is a pleasant surprise. Gym on the third floor became a sanctuary. Blah 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 blah.
I like that. I don't have anything bad to say about this. It's
What was
cool.
that?
I really like that. I don't have anything bad to say about this. Um, I think one of the things that makes
And
ChatGPT so powerful is that like it's personalized. You know, it tells you exactly what the things you want to be near are. It's like every listing that shows up on ChatGPT for you is personalized towards you. So this
mhm.
generate another story thing is just adds a new dimension to that personalization. Okay. Um, so yeah, that's cool. But where would it get the source from? Is it like reviews and stuff?
Yeah, so the idea for this is to concatenate a bunch of like reviews from local businesses around, or if there are reviews about the building, which is pretty rare. I've never seen reviews about an apartment complex, but if there are any, just
There's a lot on Reddit.
okay. So just aggregate all of these together and then provide a summary.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's definitely a good idea. I really like the UI too.
yeah. I made it on my own. And then last idea, I don't have a visual for it because Lovable would not generate one for me. But it's basically when the user goes on chatapt.com, it opens a GTA like game where the user has 1 minute to navigate the video game. And based on what they do during that 1 minute, you can determine what they're looking for in an apartment. Also, one story point.
When I go on GTA, the first thing I want to do is so so when I get my recommendations, they're all gonna be in Inglewood.
Right. Well, that matches.
All my apartments
That's
gonna be
like
in
pretty.
Inglewood. Huh?
That is based on your behavior, right?
I'm gonna get canceled for
You,
that.
you do get redos.
You do get redos.
Yeah.
But there's just as soon as you get in GTA, first thing you want to do is run over somebody. When I get on GTA, the first thing I want to do is rob a car and then just drive recklessly and just do whatever. That's not. That's gonna end me in the South Side of Chicago.
Right.
You know.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, I mean
Okay.
that's a fun idea though.
Yeah, that's all I have to present to you today. From last week's discussion, it seems like the content that does really well on social media is just you talking about some of your approaches to some of the ideas you had. So before we get into that, maybe you want to discuss your updates, your upcoming updates, why you built those.
So this past weekend when I was working on SEO, well, yeah, I realized that SEO was probably gonna be a big referral, I guess, engine to ChatGPT. But like it's kind of a challenge because there's like two types of SEO. There's like SEO on Google traditional, but there's like this SEO now that like are more like Gen Z like, which is like being really present on Reels, being really present on TikTok, right? That's like the new form of SEO, and we're already doing that with this podcast and things. So that's fun. But the second SEO, which is like the typical Google stuff, I realized that we need to generate a bunch of content, right? So first thought is like, okay, whenever somebody searches on ChatGPT with a chat, it generates, it gives you like when you go to my matches, you get like a bunch of matches, and then that's like content, but like we're not really indexing that or anything, or like that's not really being indexed by Google. And one because the link is weird, and two, it's not really accessible either. And that's one. And then I was also looking at like user behavior on PostHub. So like I spent like an hour or two just like looking at all those videos, and then I realized one thing that like no one really engages with the chat. So like what they do is like almost like in every single instance is usually like they'll go on the chat, they'll type in I want this, that. Wait for the results, and it's kind of surprising they wait that long, like sometimes like 3 minutes. But like, so they wait for the results. It comes back. They click on the listings. They go back to the chat. If they want a new query, they start a new chat. They don't really
Mm.
they don't really tell they don't really conversate with the AI. So they start a new chat, or they just copy the first query at the top and they just pasted it again, right? They're not treating it as like an assistant situation.
Okay.
They're treating it as a search engine. Treating ChatGPT as a search engine.
Is
Um,
there something about is there something about how users usually treat looking for a house on Zillow or other platforms that like that's like their normal user behavior? So then when they're searching for a house on your platform too, they think there's no follow through. And is there something user experience related that you could do to prompt them to ask follow-ups instead of opening a new chat?
yeah. So I was thinking. Was to answer your first question. Maybe they're too used. I thought about it too. Maybe they're too used to how Zillow does it. That's possible. Yeah, maybe. But I think if you also think like what you need in an apartment, you kind of really know what you want. So there may be no really need for a chat. You know what I mean? You kind of really know what you want. So you know what you want already when you're looking for an apartment. That's one. Um, just they're treating it as a search engine basically, right? What was the second question? Sorry.
Is there something user experience related that you can do on your end to prompt users to do
Yeah.
follow-up questions?
Yeah. Let me look at my notes. I was like, okay, maybe I need to make the the chat a bit more interactive and conversationalist. I feel like I'm just making up words here. Um, I'm like Shakespeare. Um, the couple ways I was gonna do that is I ask follow up questions. So when the AI gives you listings, it's gonna be like, hey, what are you leaning towards? Is this what you were thinking? You want me to look for other options for you? Stuff like that. But then when I look more into the video, people don't even read what the AI is blabbering about. As soon as the listing starts coming up, you just go straight to the listings. So I don't think they even care about what the AI is yapping about. Um,
And sorry, when just for people to get the point of reference, when you say video, you mean the post hoc video of how an
yeah,
interaction looks like, right?
yeah. So Post Hog, shout out Post Hog. This video is sponsored by Post Hog. No, I'm kidding. Shout out Post, shout out Post Hog. But like it's a really cool like product analytics platform, and it literally lets you see. Um, it kind of like does magic where like you can see your user session and see how they're using your product. And it's not a video format, but like it's kind of like a bunch of events that they capture and then they play it back in like a video. So it's not like screen recording your screen or anything. It's just like each click is an event, right? In your screen. So it
Yeah.
captures all that in a time series and it puts all that together to make a video. So it's really cool how it works. But like just looking at that, I also realized that people don't really read what the AI is saying, really. So even if I were to put all those follow ups, I mean, it might not even really matter. Um, so I'm like, okay, what if I lean into the search engine? I think naturally ChatGPT makes sense as a search engine. So
Right.
that's what I started building this weekend. Hopefully launch tomorrow. But like, essentially, it's gonna be like a search engine where you can tap exactly what you want in natural language, and then it's gonna find it, but it's gonna be quick. I'm aiming to put the average time down to like 10 seconds.
What's the difference between the old version versus what's going to be up
Like the
tomorrow?
tech
No, like user experience.
or user experience. You want me to show you, or I mean,
Sure, dude.
I have
Yeah,
a
sure.
logo. It's just gonna look like this. You just tap in what you want, and then you just get the results. And then the key here is to make this really fast, and also for each query, for each search, is gonna get indexed. I don't know if you can see. You see the URL or no?
No, I don't.
The URL is gonna look like this,
Uh-huh.
you know, and this is gonna be much more readable by Google, so that if somebody goes ahead and Google and types in apartments near a gym in Rogers Park, it's gonna bring up this page.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So
So when other people are searching, they're also probably getting this.
yeah. So whenever the search is going to get this page, and then there's also going to, and then and there's gonna generate a link, and then that link is gonna be optimized for SEO. Yeah. So that's kind of like the update. And I think I'm gonna also start letting people request bookings as well.
Okay.
Um,
Interesting. And how does that fall into plans to monetize this platform?
yeah. So I'm gonna test it out with one of my friends, a real estate agent. So when people, I'm gonna make the booking much better than the current booking experience in Zillow because it's not really good. But like, essentially, when you try to book, it's gonna ask you when you're genuinely free, and then it's going to try to set you up a real estate agent. Um, Pension monetization. I mean, I talked to it with the real estate person. One thing we said we were gonna try is he's gonna give me a referral uh, bonus or whatever referral part.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, he's gonna give me that. But that's not really the. I don't think that would be the main monetization. I think the biggest monetization would be the points of interest ranking that I'm doing here. It's gonna be like an ad platform. So when people say, "Oh, I want to live in Rogers Park near a gym," they give you like 5 gyms to pick from, right? Obviously, and then if there's no other criteria to rank them on, I'm gonna rank them on paid on which gym pays more for the ads, right? So it's gonna be like a behind the scenes ad platform.
Got
Um,
it.
I also made this map really much better, so that like it kind of shows you where the apartment's at, but also shows you everything that's around there.
If you open a new tab, I can't see.
Oh, you can
Yeah.
see that. So this is where the apartment's at, and then it's also gonna show you like everything that's around it. Trader Joe's. So like if you were to say you want to left to Trader Joe's, it's gonna show you where it is on the map.
Oh,
So like
okay.
yeah, so the recommendation and stuff will probably be paid, but first I'm gonna try. So instead of doing continue to Zillow, you should be able to just book directly on here, a book a tour or something.
Hmm.
Uh, so that should be rolling out this week at some point. But first I'm gonna roll out the apartment search first. The new apartment search engine.
Um, Last week when we shared videos, I noticed that one video spiked up in particular was about how you like to build your startup and wear a do-rag at the same time so you can build money and waves. What do you think about that?
That blew up.
It was probably the most viewed video across TikTok and Instagram.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, I'm building my startup and I'm letting my waves cook at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you want to give a demo of your waves right now?
Kill two birds with one stone. You can't really see it because of light, but like, let me see if I can shine a light on that bitch real quick.
Oh shit.
You know, I let it, I let
Nice.
it,
Cook
I let it, I let it cook when I was working on that feature.
cooking.
This,
Yeah.
this wave right here was cooking while I was working on the search feature.
Mm. Cool. All right. What else do you want to discuss? That was all that I had for today.
I didn't think I expected you to have all the ideas. Next time I'll think about what I want to talk about.
Well, I expected the first portion to go a little longer,
Uh-huh.
but I didn't have enough lovable credits, so I generated as many as I could on the free plan.
Those look really good though.
Lovable, yeah, pretty impressive. Not gonna lie.
I might just copy the UI. I don't know. What are I mean? I want to know. I'm curious to know what are your thoughts on the updates.
It's interesting the search portion. Um, I was gonna ask also if the indexing helps with SEO at all or not. I don't know.
Like when Google indexes it.
Yeah, is the indexing happening like on your side or on Google's side?
Okay, so um, in terms of SEO, when Google indexes your page, that means that Google, I guess, can now show your page, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
it now knows your page exists essentially.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So to do that, you kind of need to make the page accessible for Google. And one way to do that is kind of have like semantic links, kind of what I showed
Mm-hmm.
you. Um, Another way is to have like generated content on your page, because when the Google crawler comes to your page, um, and it loads up your page, you don't want it to take a long time. So like it's great to have like for it to be fast, one, and then B, to have like generated custom content that's only for your page.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now, if you search up like apartments in Chicago near Trader Joe's, you don't see anything. But
Mm-hmm.
the goal is to have this career page comes up when you search that. And the way to do that is, um, eventually somebody's gonna search that, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe even I'm just gonna generate a bunch of searches myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna generate all these links, and then there's a way in the Google Search Console, I think, to just submit a list of links to Google, and then they'll index it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you can either let the crawler come to your page and find it, or I think you can also submit links. Um, but yeah, that's kind of like the goal. If we could do that, and maybe 2 months from now, and have that come up, I think that'll be like game changer.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But back to your question of what do I think about this? I mean, anything that reduces the amount of time to see results is an improvement. I don't see why this would be a bad idea. So yeah, it's pretty good, pretty cool.
Bro, what do you think about it?
Um,
What do you think about it not having a chat feature? Do you think that'll be a bad thing or a good thing?
Not having the chat feature.
Yeah.
Wait, when did you mention that? Sorry, I missed that.
So like, if this replaced the chat feature,
Oh, interesting.
oh, you think it'll
Uh,
be both?
well, you did say that users are not doing follow-up questions.
Right,
They're more using it like,
they're treating the chat feature as a search engine essentially.
yeah, so you might as well just double down on like that. So I think you're following what your users are saying, which is
Yeah.
probably the best thing you could do.
And trying to get a product market fit.
Yeah.
So, um, like, and instead of trying to push the chat feature on them, just kind of make it easier to do what they're already doing now.
Hmm.
Easier and faster, which is this. So, yeah.
Since last week also, when we posted the videos on Instagram, you noticed some gradual trends like a growth in user base and stuff.
Mm.
Did you notice new behaviors other than using it as a search engine rather than a chat feature?
I mean, so when people go to a homepage, they usually explore the homepage first. So you know how there's like check out the last something. I realize that people like looking at those and browsing.
Okay.
Um,
Do you think that's real estate for monetization on your side? If that's something that's people interested in checking out.
yeah, I mean, I think people just generally like browsing anyway. So the browsing feature is cool. Monetization. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think there'll be like 3 channels of monetization. Right? There's like premium. I mean, landlords can list for free. I mean, so I don't think we need to get after. We need to get custom listings instead of going to Zillow all the time. So to do that, first idea is so I'm gonna test this in my real estate friend, but like a real estate person could be a part of this platform. Um, if maybe it's maybe like so like they could be a part of this platform, and they can get leads from this platform. So like if you sign up as a real estate person here, if somebody wants to book a tour, it'll send you that person, right? So we're
Hmm.
giving you a lead right there. Um, but maybe instead of having them give me a referral fee or something, I'm gonna require them to upload a listing on here. Um, because a lot of landlords usually go through real estate agents to list their products, and they list it on
Oh,
Zillow, MLS. But like, I'm gonna require them to list it on my platform too, instead of like there might be a way to get listings. Um, I think that's what the MLS does, as well. Like, I think in order to use the MLS, you also need to list on the MLS
I
if you're a
see.
real estate agent. So like, kind of copy their model a little bit, and then also landlords can also list directly. It'll be free, but premium features a bit for it. But like, I think a big unlock here would be to make the platform really useful for landlords as well. I have to talk to landlords to see how to do that. Um, and I think the third thing is like I was saying, an ad platform for businesses to kind of like display their businesses to the right person. So
Okay.
like, and there's like three paths to making money that I think we can start doing soon, maybe like the next month.
Cool. Very cool. All right. I think Byron's texting. He wants to come to your place.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop recording here.
Huh?
I'm gonna stop recording here. Unless you want to discuss anything else.
No, I think that's good.